Hi guys, so this is for entertainment purposes only. So have you ever wondered why the what is it called? Why other religions are more successful than other religions? And from my understanding, or from what I know, and you should also go and check this Dr. Kingori's latest post, and then you can come and tell me what's up. So let me tell you guys, there are things that I've realized. Like we all say, oh, for example, I'll use a good example like Kenya. We have a lot of resources, but a lot of things are not working out like how they are supposed to work out. We have resources, we have very smart people, we have some of the most smartest people in like the whole world, from general standards. And what I realized was there are things that we call principle. Let me give you an example. Have you ever watched this series of girls who of these fairy stories where there's this like witch and she casts spells? Anyway, we'll talk about these spells. So for this spell to work, you'll see her mixing a red liquid, a blue liquid in a certain format, and she will be saying some words, okay? Maybe if she wants someone to, for example, go blind, she'll put a red oil, a blue oil, in that maybe 2 drops, I don't know what, even in the uchawi, like the uchawi that we hear or we've seen in Nigerian movies, there are things they do, they walk around, I don't know, 7 times for something to happen. And that thing that they intend to do happens if they do it correctly. Now, when you come back to these things that I call principles, we have principles that are in the Bible. But you also need to understand that the Bible was translated, so there might be some biased information there. So the Bible, let's call it like, God forgive me, let's say it's a book of spells. And the book of spells was written in Aramaic, I think, if I'm not wrong. And then it was translated to like Greek, Hebrew, I don't know the correct order, until it got to the languages that we understand now. English, there's the Kikuyu one, there's the Luo, there's the Kamba one. But I understand that there are biases. Like, for example, the King James Version was written by a man who was, allegedly he was gay. Yeah, and some a lot of things happened in between the translations of the Bible. So perhaps some of these principles were biased or were left out. So for example, if in the Bible you have been given principles from the original language that show you how to make money, for example, that show you how to make money and actually keep money, and someone translate it, and you're supposed to, for example, like the spell, you put the blue oil, then the red oil, 2 drops of the red oil, then there's the yellow oil, right? But now this person, when he's translating this Bible, he says, he tells you to put, if there was supposed to be 5 drops of blue oil, he says 3 drops of this oil. If there was supposed to be a yellow oil, he leaves that out. If there was supposed to, maybe you were supposed to say some certain words, that thing is left out, so you don't say it. So I feel like that is something that actually happened in the Bible. Some things were left out, but anyway, we have things that actually still work in the Bible. And the reason as to why I asked why are some religions more successful than other religions, I think we know which ones you're talking about. But I feel like these principles, that we still have them. There are still principles in the Bible, but most of us Christians do not follow them. For example, if I'm not wrong, in Psalms 34, it talks about people who give out like, if I borrow you money, I should give you back your money. I should not stay with it. There's an agreement. I should not go against that agreement. But when you come to our countries like Kenya, we borrow. And there's also a text in the Bible that says the borrower becomes the slave of the borrowee. I don't know. Okay. Like, if I borrow you money, I become like your slave. Okay. And I think, please comment down below if you know that verse. People can go and check it out. And if you look at most of the African states, yes, they are mixed religions, but look at our culture. We borrow and we borrow and we borrow. Look at your leaders. Do they even use the intended money? What the money was intended to do? They actually do a lot of negative things with this money. Do they give it back? It actually, right now, most of the time, I don't feel like, especially our country, we are not giving back our debts, even if they were wrongly acquired, and we are even borrowing more. When you come to these other religions, like the Islam, for example, the Islam, those people know how to follow their principles. Even if they do good or bad, they know how to follow these principles. They know that this is what we will do, this is what it's supposed to be done at this specific time, and they follow it to the core. Same as the spell. If you are trying to do a spell, you follow it to the core. If it's two drops, it's 2 drops, not 2.5 drops. It will give you the intended. Final result. But when it comes to us, like Christians, yes, we have that choice, but we don't. Let me. How will I put it without sounding? We don't follow it to the core. We postpone. If it's supposed to be done today, we postpone it. If we are supposed to pay our debts, we do not pay. When it comes to an Islam, we're not talking about those people who do bad in the name of Islam. We're talking about the real Islamists. Those people can get into agreements by shaking hands, no written papers, no nothing, word of mouth, and the simple things. We take tea, we sit down, we take tea, we agree to something. Those people will agree to millions of money with just a word of mouth. But when it comes to Christianity, what do? Even these written agreements, they still backfire, because someone will say, I will do this, but they will not do it. You see, you get my point. These people, Islamists follow rules. If it's praying at 3, it's that 3. You will go to a whole mall full of Islams, and they have closed the shops. I don't care how much stock. Even we have the Isli, right? Ikifika masaa fulani, watafunga maduka. Not considering, how much stock you are coming, how much money you are bringing in. No, because these are the principles that they are following. Remember, it's like a spell. So if we as Christians read our Bible, and I feel like these are principles. Like, for example, if you look at that Dr. Kingori's conversation with this man, he talks about, because even me, I was like thinking, okay, we are talking about especially like a simple thing like the phone. When I tell you to explain it to me, you'll tell me, it's the waves and current. I don't know, waves, currents, I don't know what. Talk about electricity. It doesn't have like, the way we talk about a flower, the parts of a flower, how it works, the parts of a leaf, the chlorophyll in it, the I don't know, all of these things, the phloem, the whatever. When it comes to things like, there's no perfect explanation, but it's just an understanding of a principle until how it comes to being. Like, this phone will work. This phone will, I can actually talk to you. If I'm here in the Gulf, I can talk to my family in Kenya. If I'm in Australia, I can video call them. There is just a principle of an explanation, but no clear explanation. Like, if you listen to it and you just ask yourself a question. So these principles, you see the same principles that if we connect, he talks about a car, the mechanical structure of it, and you need some principles. If you create this engine in certain principles, if you create this, I don't know all the parts of the car, but if you create this thing, and then I come and put this oil based on a certain, principle, this car will work. And you should follow that to the core. You do not go, I don't know, you cannot go like around those principles. You have to go to work with those principles until this thing works. The same thing happens here in this life. I've forgotten a lot of things that I wanted to say, but all I can say is everything that we do is based on principles, even as when it comes to creation. Like for example, for a lady to get pregnant, there needs to be a connection between the sperm and the ovary. Ovum or ovary, yes. It's a principle that has to be followed. Even if it's a lab generated fetus, there should be that principle where the sperm comes together with the ovary in good conditions. Without those conditions, nothing can happen. Okay? And I feel like these are things that we have not been told about. I don't know why. Okay, I know why. Because if everyone knew every principle that was supposed to be followed, I think we could have been in a better position when it comes to this life that we are living, everything that is happening. But one thing that I would say is, even when it comes to Freemason, I feel like this principality theory of mine explains it. I feel like, for example, I feel like Freemasons are a group of people who came about some certain principles that they share. You see, there are things they say, oh, they can't tell it to the public unless you are part of this group. And for you to be part of that group, especially the deep, they have the, have you ever wondered why they have like the most successful people, the most, like, they have doctors, engineers, artists? These are people who they already have a gift, but they don't have the, what is it, that is it, can I call it a cherry at the top? Now this cherry at the top is what builds into all of what they do in their daily lives. Like for example, if I am an artist and I have this gift of singing, but because we have a lot of talented people, but they can't get, unasikia ile unaambiwa nyota yako bado haijakupata. I feel like these people who are in the Freemason and they are very successful, for example, and it's not all, I know there are a lot of people who are successful but are not in the Freemason, but I'm talking about these ones. They have principles that they will be given up after they get into this setting, this group. There are principles that they will be handed to. Like if you work through with this principle, if you go about with these principles that we will give you, you will get this kind of success. And that's why people say, oh, and you need to have that sacrifice. Because I mean, you're not just going to come and tell me, oh, I won't tell anyone, I promise. You're going to be told, okay, show us that you promise, you actually really promise. That's how I believe it happens. And I think I'm right. I know I'm right. I just don't know how to prove it. I just don't know how to prove it. But I just feel like, yeah, there's something. And I feel like these are the principles. These are the principles. I don't have all the information. That's why I am telling people, if you have like small information, please comment down below. Because I feel like there's just something we're not getting our hands on. And I wish we do. I hope we do. Because it's going to open a lot of, but I know it's going to open one day, but I know these principles, like if you follow them to the core. Let me tell you guys, I've lived with Muslims for the longest time. Okay, not longer than my family, but I've worked with them. And these people, if I employ you to do this work, okay, let's put aside the people who are not humane. Those are other people, those are just people who have, but we have all these people, even in Christianity. There are people who are Christians, but they treat people badly. So I'm talking about the people who are humans in their own way, and also Muslims. And these people, if they are told do this at a certain time, they will do that at a certain time, And I feel like that's what makes them apart from other, even the same thing that happens, and I'm using Muslim, but there are other religions. Okay, so yeah, I know there's a lot of questions. I wish we could, please help me break, what is it called, challenge my theory. I want someone to challenge my theory. I know it's challengeable, but I can't wait. I know it's just my thinking, it's my opinion, and I hope that everyone, I hope someone can challenge me down below, and we can get on to. So guys, like, follow, share, and comment down below with your thoughts.